So if you've ever tried to text an iPhone from an Android, or an Android from an iPhone, or been in a group chat with both, you'll know the experience is painfully just horrible. Missing all the stuff you'd normally expect when you're texting with blue bubbles or on WhatsApp or something like that. But for some reason, it's all blamed on Android for some reason, but it's actually Apple's fault. But why aren't they doing anything about it? If you enjoyed this video, please like, maybe even subscribe, no pressure though. So this has actually been an ongoing battle for years now, but recently Android put out a website with a video explaining why Apple needs to move on and support the next standard for texting, RCS. And I will link that video in the description. But before we dig into that, let's first understand kind of the history of texting and what SMS and MMS really are. So SMS was originally created in 1992, way back there. And basically, using your phone number, you could text somebody a message up to 160 characters. And pretty much that was it. But it immediately became really popular. But then, as phones became more advanced and more people had them, people started to reach the limits of SMS, and so MMS was created. SMS stands for Short Messaging Service. MMS stands for Multimedia Messaging Service. So basically, it first of all upped the character limit from 160 characters to up to 1,600 characters. So you could send way longer messages, and you could attach media like photos and videos, even though it was compressed pretty badly and did some weird stuff. But then again, as smartphones became more popular, we were meeting the limitations of MMS, and so then in 2011, Apple created iMessage, which they just built right into their Messages app on the iPhone, and this time it worked over the internet instead, and you could use your phone number or you could actually use your email, and it synced across all your devices, so you could actually send messages from your Mac or your iPad if you wanted to. And so it introduced a bunch of other stuff like read receipts, typing indicators, and inline replies, and end encryption, and eventually they added, Memoji and the other App Store stuff to go along with it. But that was only between iPhones. But here in North America, especially in the US, and especially with younger people, the iPhone is wildly popular, and some reports say up to 87% of US teens have an iPhone, which means that because most people just use their default messaging app, iMessage became really popular, and so people with Androids were left out of group chats sometimes and just made fun of and stuff for the green bubbles, which is really stupid because it's Apple's fault, not Android. And it's absolute madness, but it's just something that's unfortunately happening. So what's the actual solution? The first possible solution would be just for everyone to get the same third-party messaging app. There's already popular ones out there, WhatsApp, Telegram, Discord, Facebook Messenger. But do we really want all our messaging to be handled by a single company, especially if that company is Facebook? I mean, Meta. Sorry. Yeah, I'd say maybe not. And competition is always good. That's just something that kind of annoys me about fanboys, But competition is always, always good between companies. Anywho, so this is where RCS comes in. RCS stands for Rich Communication Service, and it's kind of made to replace SMS and MMS, and it brings a lot of the things that iMessage has, but to Android and to, any phone that chooses to support it. And at this point, pretty much everyone does support it except Apple. And the GSMA published their universal profile, which makes it really easy for carriers and phone manufacturers to support RCS and make sure that it's going to work with everything else. And although Google doesn't own RCS, they're kind of one of the biggest companies pushing it and putting a lot of work into it. And so that's why they have started different campaigns to try to get Apple to support RCS. So my thoughts, yeah, the video that Android put out is really cringy and technically has some stuff in there that's wrong, but yeah, Apple needs to just give their users the best experience, which right now means support RCS right into iMess, right into the Messages app. So come on, Apple, just get the message.